if you're that guy and you just came off a draw, I think rematching will be the most competitive thing to do as an athlete. With the Jake Paul situation, is like, it's a money grab fight.
Davis was in a bit of a hole, and he gets an opportunity to fight Jake Paul for $200 million or whatever. I don't mind it at all. As long as Gervonta Davis comes back to the world of boxing after he gets done with this, hey man, you got your money, no worries.
As Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis prepare for their major bout, the fight is drawing nearer. Tank is seen honing his quickness and knockout shots as Jake works on his size and strength. As fans watch each boxer get ready for one of the most anticipated fights, the tension rises and both camps are totally focused.
I don't get it.
Yeah, this Santa Cruz out here to get you. You can't let it burn, baby, let it burn. Mind over matter, son, mind over matter.
This is the blues on.
Ain't nobody doing no shit like this. Come in the desert. Trying to stay away from the desert, he come in the desert.
Shakur Stevenson expressed his thoughts on the current fad of unusual boxing bouts. He maintained that while bouts like Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis don't really advance the sport, Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson has more significance. He believes that if Mayweather and Tyson wish to return to the ring in order to make money, they are both legends who have already solidified their legacies. It shouldn't be thought of as detrimental to boxing. Stevenson emphasized that, unlike celebrity-style demonstrations, these kinds of events evoke nostalgia in followers and do not weaken the sport.
Bad for the sport of boxing.
I mean, I feel like in Floyd and Tyson's situation is different than Jake Paul and Buddy. I feel like with Floyd and Tyson, it's like, okay, y'all deserve it. Y'all legends, y'all paid homage, y'all did the most for the sport of boxing already. So you deserve a big payday and be cool. I'm cool with it. I like it. But with Jake and Buddy, I feel like Buddy is a participate in the sport of boxing right now, and he just came off a draw his last fight. So if you're a real champion and top level guy that you say you are, which I think you are too. I think you're the truth. But if you're that guy and you just came off a draw, I think rematching will be the most competitive thing to do as an athlete. With the Jake Paul situation, is like, it's a money grab fight. So to me, it's like some WWE shit.
Yeah, you get choked out. Like, I mean, okay, so he gets this fight with Jake. His value goes up. No, it doesn't. It don't? Not the sport of boxing. You know,
I mean, it may.
The demand more because he's, you know, because when we looked at the Floyd and just hypothetical, we speak hypotheticals at time, right? You go in there and that big ass nigga knock him the fuck out. I'm just saying, hypothetical. Go in there and knock Tank the fuck out. That big ass nigga being Jake Paul? Yeah.
Okay.
Knock him the fuck out. Because he's bigger than him. Yeah. For one. By chance, it is a fight.
I think the thing is with Buddy and Jake fight, I feel like it's two sides of me with it. Because from a competitive aspect and me being the mentality that I got, I feel as though I probably would have done a rematch.
Yeah.
But then from a business aspect, if I would have done the rematch and I did not win the fight, the Jake Paul fight will be a lot less money and a lot less lucrative. So,
you think so?
From a business aspect, I understand that anybody that with a business mind probably would have took that fight for as much money as it was. So I'm a realist. Like, I ain't gonna just bash, bro.
When asked about the possible fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, UFC President Dana White responded bluntly. Although White acknowledged that it might really benefit Davis, he asserted that very few people were truly thrilled about the matchup. Outside of the ring, Davis had been dealing with difficulties and public attention, which had slowed his progress. Jake Paul intervened during this precarious period with a financial offer. Even though the event is being ridiculed, White said that it might provide Davis with recognition and money just when he needs it most. White's shocking statement that Jake Paul may actually defeat Gervonta Davis expanded on his perspective. His argument was predicated on his physicality rather than his technical boxing abilities. White underlined that although Davis is strong, he is considerably smaller and used to fighting lighter men, whereas Paul has advantages in size, strength, and reach. White believes that the outcome of such a battle would not be about who is the superior boxer, but rather about Davis's ability to overcome Paul's enormous natural advantages in the ring.
Jake Paul to beat Gervonta Davis. This is not a fight that I'm excited for at all. I would rather have Gervonta Davis fighting in a real boxing match against the likes of Lamont Roach, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Emmanuel Navarrete, anybody that is in the 135-pound division and around. That's where I want to see Gervonta Davis fight. However, we live in a world where everybody is trying to do things as big as possible. And the biggest fights possible right now, unfortunately for the sport of boxing, is an exhibition fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. So, I do like it for this reason though. I like it because it is allowing Gervonta Davis to have a fight that is going to be big and that the mainstream media is going to have to cover, the mainstream media outside the world of boxing. Gervonta Davis has been, without a doubt, blocked, having venues blocked, having fighters, having other promoters paying fighters away to go different directions from Gervonta Davis. So Gervonta Davis was in a bit of a hole. And he gets an opportunity to fight Jake Paul for $200 million or whatever. I don't mind it at all. As long as Gervonta Davis comes back to the world of boxing after he gets done with this, hey man, you got your money, no worries. But you gotta love Dana White having the audacity to pick Jake Paul in this fight.
Gervonta Davis will lose to Jake Paul. I'm not at all looking forward to this conflict. I would want to see Gervonta Davis compete in a true boxing contest against opponents like Lamont Roach, Shakur Stevenson, Keshan Davis, Emmanuel Navarrete, or anyone else weighing 135 pounds or more. But in a world where everyone aspires to do things as big as they can, the biggest fights that are now feasible for boxing are, regrettably, an exhibition match between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. Thus, this is the reason I enjoy, however, it. I appreciate it because it will enable Gervonta Davis to have a major fight, which will require coverage by the general media outside of the boxing community. There is no doubt that Gervonta Davis has been blocked, that venues have been blocked, that boxers have been present, and that other promoters have paid fighters to go in various directions from Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis, who was in a bit of a bind, was given the chance to battle Jake Paul for $200 million or more. As long as Gervonta Davis returns to the boxing community when he finished this, you received your money, dude. Don't worry. However, you have to admire Dana White for having the gall to choose Jake Paul for this duel.
I think Davis is more to lose because he's the bona fide world champion. I don't care if he's much smaller. I think Jake Paul has sort of plateaued as far as where his boxing is concerned. It's rather low level. He's big, he's physical, he's strong, he can hit. So there is that risk. Davis, at lightweight, you're in a moment where it's too physical for you. You can clinch. Against the heavyweight, where you clinching? You ain't getting out of that corner just clinching anymore if you run out of space. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But Davis, listen, there's a lot of talking points that I'm sure we'll get into when this gets closer to the fight. Davis can still punch a lightweight, can drop a heavyweight. There's a lot to gain there, right? If Davis knocks,
the answer is yes.
If Davis drops Jake on his ass, as much as Davis is the one with more to lose, it's still a highlight moment.
A visual that will stay forever.
Yeah, but if you get dropped, even if you're smaller, you're still a world champion in multiple weight classes. If you get dropped, what's the look? What's the feel? On the inside, as boxers, me and Chris Aldrey, the champion, even you, Jimmy, you have fight experience, so we know that the risk is a big guy that big hits you. You're probably going down if you're a small guy. If he hits you clean, so we know the risk. But how does it look to the public eye who don't understand that? You know what I mean? The public. So there is a lot to lose, though. There's a bit to gain. I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with this had Davis's career arc been one that benefited boxing. Davis was manufactured and put into a position where he's supposed to benefit boxing. And I don't think he has. I think he's hurt boxing. So by giving him this reward, that's my problem. Why are we watching this? Why don't you make him earn his spot that he still hasn't earned?
Paulie Malignaggi, a former world champion, offered his candid opinion on Terence Crawford and Jake Paul entering the ring together. He commended Crawford as a top fighter with one of the greatest skill sets in contemporary boxing, but he issued a warning that physical attributes might occasionally take precedence over technical abilities. Malignaggi emphasized that history has frequently demonstrated that smaller champions have difficulties when they attempt to move up in weight too much. He underlined that even with Crawford's superior technique, Jake Paul's natural frame and sheer striking power may cause major issues. Malignaggi believes that physical limitations, not talent, are the problem. Size, strength, and durability are still important in boxing. He implied that skill cannot always overcome size disadvantages, pointing out that even a fighter as nimble and skilled as Crawford would find it exceedingly dangerous to take on someone who is so much bigger than him.
35 pounds. Jake Paul is over 50 pounds heavier than Gervonta Tank Davis, and he's nearly a foot taller than Gervonta Tank Davis. So no sanction body wants to, and no commission wants to, should I say, I keep saying sanction body, no commission wants to sanction it. They don't want to be a part of it, as I told you guys. So they announced that the fight was going to take place November 14th in Atlanta at the State Farm Arena where the Atlanta Hawks play. And the Georgia Athletic Commission, he came out and he made a serious statement, and he let the world know that they falsely advertised this fight, okay, because no commission won't sanction it to be a real boxing match, let alone they're not even interested in allowing it to be an exhibition, okay? They don't even want it to be, they don't even want to be responsible for an exhibition of this magnitude, right? So he comes out and he says, the commissioner, head of the Georgia Commission, he comes out and he says, quote, I believe it's in the public's interest to know because they've been promoting something they should not have been promoting. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. It's a money grabber, and I'm not okay with that. So they telling him it's just for the money.
After the initially selected location declined to host the widely reported match, analysts disclosed that the organizers were compelled to make a significant change. It was apparently rejected outright by local officials who saw it more as a circus act than a real sporting competition. Many were surprised by this choice because the original site was thought to be the best for drawing big.
He'd mentioned me before, and there'll be people out there saying, oh, Carl Frock's talking about himself, he's after a payday. Listen, I'm not after a payday. I'm doing all right. There's no problems with my finances. But I'll take the fucking payday, of course I will. And I'll end Jake Paul with one punch. I'm going there one-armed and beat this guy. He can't box. He's absolutely fucking useless, which we saw last night with Mike Tyson. Talking about Canelo Alvarez. I've not mentioned Canelo Alvarez. It's just laughable. Jake Paul, Canelo Alvarez, can you imagine? I mean, Jake Paul fancies that and he jumps in the ring with him. I will pay homage to him because fair play. If he jumps in there with Canelo Alvarez, he'll get absolutely fucking destroyed, and it will be fast and it will be messy, and it will be bad for his health as well, potentially.
Big crowds and making a substantial profit. Promoters frantically looked for a different location that would welcome the spectacle rather than postponing or canceling the event. They found a replacement location that was open to hosting the fight in a matter of days, guaranteeing that everything would go according to plan. But this sudden change has intensified critiques of the fight's general legitimacy. Critics contend that the competition itself might not have much sporting significance if a venue of this kind turned it down. Nowadays, a lot of people believe that the matchup is motivated more by financial gain and entertainment than by true competitive merit. The sudden move has been a topic of conversation in and of itself, with many arguing that the uproar surrounding the venue change highlights the continuous discussion about whether or not these crossover bouts are even appropriate for the boxing world.